When I see that Pam Bondi today, I see somebody that has changed 180 degrees. I don't know which Pam Bondi is the real Pam Bondi.
Homeland, for example, right, taking $50,000 in a bag, and the DOJ not choosing to prosecute that case.
Former moderate Republicans that have completely done lobotomies during the Trump age.
Okay, we have one more CNN panel to hop into today. This one more directly about Pam Bondi and the absolutely insane performance in front of Congress she gave, refusing to answer any questions, launching personal attacks. So take a moment if you can, leave us a like on the video. It really helps us in the algorithm. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers, and let's get right to the content.
You're welcome to discuss this with Director Patel. I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator. That's pending litigation, and I can't discuss that at all. I am not going to discuss pending cases. I can't discuss anything regarding that matter. As I stated earlier, that is still a pending matter. I am not going to discuss anything that is ongoing. I have had no meetings or discussions about a fund. I am not going to talk about personnel matters with you. I'm not going to discuss any legal advice.
I mean, it's the Trump playbook again. Trump, who himself pled the fifth hundreds of times during his own depositions. I guess Bondi decided she would do the same here, and we covered this a lot yesterday in those videos, but it's no less astounding. And I don't know how MAGA comes away from this any bit feeling more confidence in Trump and his DOJ. Like, it seems to me the only possible takeaway, no matter what your political beliefs are, from how this went and how she looked in this, unless of course you're only watching like MAGA framed clips on Twitter or something, is that they are absolutely doing everything Democrats accuse them of because they're scared to answer even basic questions about it. Like, we covered the questions yesterday. We're talking, they're not pointed, right? They weren't personal. They weren't partisan. People would just be probing for information, you know, like an oversight committee is supposed to, and Bondi would respond with can't answer or some personal attack. It was incredibly weird and childish.
When I was an assistant U.S. attorney working at the DOJ, if I were to look and see that that was my attorney general, the person that was supposed to stand for independence, for the rule of law, for the application, for the fair application of justice, I don't think I would leave feeling confident about that. I think the way the attorney general sidestepped and pointed questions about Thomas Homeland, for example, right, taking $50,000 in a bag, and the DOJ not choosing to prosecute that case. I think I would leave feeling that this department was not focused on what was good for the American people, but was focused on an audience of one and acting as the president's lawyers. And that's exactly what undermines the faith and trust we should be having in our Department of Justice.
I actually think it's more than an audience of one, and I'll tell you why. Because remember how she took some hits earlier this year from Laura Loomer types because of the Epstein files and because of her performance. And so I think the fact that we're talking about her and just the way that she was so antagonistic is actually a good thing for her.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? Make no mistake, this was a political calculation, right? She realized if she goes in there and she actually tries to battle with him and answer the questions and stick to the merits, that the sheer substance of fact, the mounting evidence would leave her looking railroaded and probably out of a job. She's failed Trump one too many times. However, if she goes in there with this aggressive, confrontational personality and thus, no other information gets out, and MAGA obviously gravitates to these kinds of people, then it doesn't matter that she didn't answer a single question because MAGA doesn't care about substance. They're just going to find whatever clip of like a gotcha question or whatever, and that's going to be the only thing that circulates to them. What the gentleman, and then, any clip that circulates of a Democrat destroying her, it's like, oh, well, he did Russia collusion, or oh, he's woke, or he's this, and whatever it might be. But like, what the gentleman said here should worry everyone, right? The sort of like smugness that we see now, or this confidence in getting away with what they're doing, means they're only going to escalate that with 3 years to do so.
I could only stand to watch it so long because I have known Pam Bondi for a very long time. I knew her when she was Attorney General of Florida, and she was a nice Southern girl. She was completely different than the performance you saw today. When I see that Pam Bondi today, I see somebody that has changed 180 degrees. I don't know which Pam Bondi is the real Pam Bondi. I don't know which Pam Bondi is auditioning for an Oscar. For Best Supporting Dramatic Actor. But she, it's just a completely different person. But it's also symptomatic of what's happened to many former moderate Republicans that have completely done lobotomies during the Trump age.
I mean, it's no shock to me that she's 180'd. It's like a must in this administration. Just look at the likes of JD Vance, right? Like Trump took over this party and it's either bend the knee completely to him or get canceled. Funny from the side that pretends to be against cancel culture, but none of these clowns chose their morals, right? Like as crazy as that is, what we have is corruption. Through and through. We have people who are looking out for each other before they look out for the American people, right? Because they're hoping to further their political careers, many of them. I think Pam Bondi wants a seat in the Vance administration. I guess this is what MAGA wants because at least like it means Republicans won't be held accountable for 3 years. Who cares if we have someone taking bribes as one of the top officials in our government, right? Who cares if an elite PDF file ring is being covered up because at least we aren't woke.